What's going on, people? Welcome back to another JSTV back again. And this evening is the Real Talk podcast show. And I got two guys who was on last night. It's Stephen and Paul. Hi to you guys.
Good evening.
Hi, mate.
Good stuff, good stuff. And also as well that we're supposed to have Rod's Uncle Rod's come on as well. Big Liverpool fan, but unfortunately he's not on at the minute. But here we go. If you like the video, like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. If you like to super chat, it's open. It's well, click on the dollar sign and just give what the channel's worth. If you'd like to become a member, it's 99p as well. Hi to Tony Claude. Got to you, my guy. Big Guna. And also got Leslie. Hi to Les. Hi to Rod. Welcome to you, man. Come to you in a bit. And super chats are available bottom right, or you can join for just 99p as well. Hi to Gary V. Big up to you, my guy. And hi to Gary V again. Hi to Amy P. Big up to Amy as well. So we're going to start with the guests first. It is going to be Rod's. And I don't know if you heard the news today. I'm only a big Liverpool fan. We just give us a quick breakdown on Liverpool's 4-2 win over Newcastle. And are you pleased with the performance, number one? And how impressive are you with Newcastle United?
Newcastle United at the minute is one of my teams that I do admire. Do you know what I mean? It is no kind of like secret. I do admire that team. Liverpool's performance at the night I thought was awesome. Over 7 XG in their performance. 34 shots on target. So yeah, the performance was awesome. Whilst we're at the top of the table at the moment, I'm not going to get carried away. Do you know what I mean? Because it's easy to get carried away with sort of like being on top of the table. Let's say it and there I've got hope. Do you know what I mean? But like generally sort of like pleased with the performance of Liverpool. But yeah, Newcastle and they look, you know what I mean? They've got sort of like a lot of injury problems and such, you know what I mean? But obviously still able to put out a reasonably good team. Do you know what I mean? I like Eddie Howe. I think he's a great manager. I just think in the day that you've got to give him time. You have to give him time. You know, there's no point in sort of like saying, right, you know, he's got like a run of sort of like games at the day where he's not winning and, oh, that's it. Do you know what I mean? You're going to let him go. You have to give him time. There's no doubt about that. You have to give him time. So it's hope at the day sort of like they do. It's up to give Eddie Howe the time that he needs to actually get some consistency. Do you know what I mean? Get the players back, do you know what I mean? And hopefully they can make a charge for the top four. Do you know what I mean? You know? So yeah, that's my reasoning on it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for Eddie Howe, got one here from Tony. Just quick your opinion on Tony's comments, and before we go on to Paul, if the Mackems beat us, how has we gone? No excuses. We've got to talk about that game as well, and just what needs to be done. I think for me, Tony, I know it's your opinion, but I don't think Eddie will be sacked. We need to keep Eddie. Do you know what I mean? And then see what happens at the end of the season. And what's your take? I mean, Eddie Howe needs to be staying.
I don't think in the day sort of like I don't think Sunderland will beat you. I don't think that's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Not amongst Sundays. Do you know what I mean? And as I said in the day, even if that does happen, do you know what I mean? It's an FA Cup game. Do you know what I mean? And say power of the cup competition, those sort of things can happen. So I still don't think it'd be a reason in the day to sort of like get trigger happy and get rid of Eddie Howe. Do you know what I mean? Because look at Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper and then they got Nottingham Forest to the Premiership. Do you know what I mean? Had a good season last season, right? All of a sudden, this season, results not going his way. And what do? They give him a tic-tac. Do you know what I mean? You know? So, I don't agree with it. I think at the end of the day, you have to give, like, managers at least 3 seasons. At least 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Also. And then you can say, well, look, you know what? We've actually trusted in you. We gave you enough time. But with results ain't changing, so I think it's time for you to go. Do you know what I mean? But like some people and some clubs that they get trigger happy, I just hope Newcastle's not one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, absolutely right there. Big up to Alan again. Hi to you, mate. I hope you're good. And we've got hi to Gary, Amy. Amy saying hi to everybody. She's like that. Evening to Ethan Rods and Gary. And just got a few comments as well. Less on too much. And surely neither our owners nor fan base are short-sighted that they will throw away an excellent manager based on the one game.
Yep.
He's right. She's right. Leslie is right. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to you, right? I mean, Ed's going to be our manager for ages, right? And if you want Eddie Howe out, he do want in. We all say that all the time. Paul, and we spoke about Liverpool, and Newcastle United getting beat. And we got to move on from that as well. Yeah, what can I say, man? I mean, I think we're a million miles away from Liverpool. We're not going to get to Liverpool standard, City, Arsenal. It's going to take about 4 or 5 years before we get to them.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, look at the benches. Our bench consisted of the impact players that could have come on was Almiron and Lewis Hall, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? You got Kraft, you got Gillespie, a second goalkeeper with Karius. You got Matt Ritchie, who love a lad, but he's not good enough anymore. Bless him. Tries his best, but he shouldn't be getting into a Premier League squad anymore. So we're just lacking and you look at Liverpool's bench, and that just shows how further ahead they are. They've got you've got players like Gakpo on the bench, they got Jota on the bench, and they got all this brilliant talent they've acquired over these couple of years under Klopp. And obviously Klopp's got them playing some unbelievable football, even though they went through a run not too dissimilar to us last season. They went through the same run as us, where Liverpool couldn't buy a win for a bit. Some fans were getting on Klopp's back, wanting Klopp sacked. The real Liverpool fans were just kind of sticking with Klopp and just saying, look, this is a bad run. He will get through it, and he did. He still got there and did. The end of the season was phenomenal for Liverpool. They just kind of really upped the pressure on us. we were just like, oh my god, we have to win like every game, or Liverpool are going to catch us. So do you know what I mean? They had, so they did recover from that little dip of form, and I think we will as well. I think there was some positives in the Liverpool game here and there. I'm not saying it was a great game like overall, but there was some. It was better than Nottingham Forest second half. It was definitely better than Luton, I felt. Some players still need to massively step up, and still some players playing within themselves. I get injuries, I get all that, but it is a bit boring hearing it. It's a bit frustrating hearing it over and over and over again. I really don't know what's going on with our medical team either. I've said this a few times where, Harvey Barnes is meant to be out. I mean, I don't know whether it's just information gets lost or whatever, but Harvey Barnes is meant to be out for 8 weeks, 9 weeks. He's been out for 4 months or 3 months, whatever it's been.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
And then whenever he's given an update, Eddie Howe's always like, and I don't know whether he's just being sly or whatever, but when they're like, the press are like, what's the update on, whoever? When it was Botman, it was like, don't know. No idea. I don't know what Botman says. He was like, we don't even know what his injury is. And then Botman came out in that interview and said that he played 2 games in a row on an ACL. The scan missed it. And you're thinking, like, I've worked in the medical field, and I know it can be, that can be missed. It's not something that isn't, common. But I don't know. It just feels that if you're at the top level in the Premier League, like, I don't know. It's just these sort of things that are just not going right for us. And, all these, the other silly thing I'm not liking is all these rumours and back chat. I mean, there's so many rumours about, well, it's not really a rumour, it's true that Wilson's gone to Saudi Arabia. That's literally true. It's not a rumour. It's happened. I know there's like a specialist there, so that's probably why that's happened. There's been some weird rumours about Trippier, not the ones that have been on. We all know that was a Sunderland fan, so we're not going to go over those ones. But the recent ones I've heard about Trippier were about him going on holiday. I don't know if you've heard those, John. There's been some rumours going about that Trippier's been on holiday, flying off and stuff. And there's been some things about that he's been given some time away. Maybe that's healthy, I don't know. But it just seems, I don't know, it just seems a bit back and forward at the moment. And it's the biggest game of our season on Saturday. I mean, that's to Newcastle fans it is. Maybe not to the club, but to the fans, Saturday is the big game. It's the huge game that everyone's wanted. We've wanted a draw in the cup with Sunderland. They're not going to get back into the Premier League anytime soon by the looks of it. I mean, I know they're sixth at the moment, but they're very inconsistent. So they're not going to get up automatically. And I think the last couple of times they've been in the playoffs, they got to the final. I think they maybe once and they got beat.
Yeah, they did.
In the playoff final. So they seem inconsistent when it comes to that. But I tell you right now, they're going to be well up for it, the Sunderland players and the fans, because they're going to know, one, our away form is in the bin. It really is in the bin. And I don't know where our confidence is. I mean, like I say, there were some positives here and there with the Sunderland performance, with the Liverpool performance, but there were still the same problems. Dan Burn was still poor. The middle of our park was knife through butter at times. I mean, obviously, Liverpool can do that to any club. I get that. Liverpool can do it to, they could do it to Man City because Liverpool are that type of side. They're a great side. But there's still some things in there that need a bit more work for us.
100%. I can't lie. We go on to Stephen a bit as well. Amy said, right, NFL players comes back in a couple of weeks' time. They got terrific medical staff, haven't they? Hey, John, how are you? I'm great, really. Hope you're well too. Watching on my channel on PS5. Thank you very much indeed for joining. It's not just injuries, but the facts are key players. No teams could sustain it long term. Leslie, I agree with you. Big up to Eileen Little. Hi, Eileen. I hope you're fantastic. And hope you have a fantastic evening for your family as well. Big up. The injuries or not, Howell got hammered by Everton, Bournemouth, Forest, and Swells beat by Luton. It's like boost footy at the minute. We didn't address weak areas in the summer. A CDM, left back, and a right winger. Tony, that's exactly what we need. A CDM, a left back, a right side winger, and a centre forward. That is what we need because we haven't got squad depth. And I've always said that. And big up to Gary. Hi to Ravi, big Liverpool fan. And Liverpool fans, come on my channel, goes on Rod's channel. Big up to you all, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. And got one here, hey to Jordan. He had a chance to get Madison, and he didn't take it. Oh, no. I didn't even know it was in for him.
We were, but we wouldn't pay. I mean, look, he demanded 250 for his wages, 250k. Yeah. And we were like, no, thank you. We were like, absolutely not. We're not doing anything like that. So we binned that off. And then obviously Tottenham came in. And look, the same thing, though.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
He's a good player. Why we signed him? He's injured.
It's too injury problems. Even what it is, people like Madison and Harvey Barnes at the end of the day, they're fantastic players, don't get me wrong. But the thing is about this, too injury prone. I don't see the point of having injury prone players in your team. Because you're only going to get a certain percentage of games out of them. And when they start getting good and start knocking down walls and stuff, they're going to be injured. Do you know what I mean? So, to me, I just, no point. We was linked with Madison. Liverpool was linked with Madison. But thankfully, they said, no, we don't want none of that. Look at he came to sort of like Tottenham, played some good games in there, then he was out injured. And he still don't know when he's going to be back. So, Madison, not for me.
His wife didn't want to be up. His wife didn't want to be up north. She wanted London. She pushed for London.
Fair enough.
Any team that would have taken him in London, she'd have been like that. Take it.
Yeah. Even if it was something like bloody, I don't know,
Brentford.
Brentford. If Brentford wanted him, she would have took it. You know what I mean? Who wears
as long as they paid the money,
Who wears the pants in the family?
Yeah,
That's it.
that's the way it goes, people. That's the way it goes. I mean, their family comes first anyway. If they want a London move, then you got to go by the family what they want first. You know what I mean? It's like if you get like a French international want to go to Newcastle, and his wife said, let's do London," right? He's got to go to London. Simple as that. I
He's
can
a wag.
understand why.
She's a wag, isn't she? She wants to be with all the waves down there.
Yeah,
But you know what it is about that? What I say about that and think that, right? I hate what you're saying and think that, but in some respects, it don't make no sense because then you're gonna go to a club at the end of the day, right? What if that club at the end of the day is not gonna be good for your career? You're just gonna go down there because your wife says so. I mean, it should be a situation and they sort of like said, look, you know what? I've got to go to a place at the end of the day. It's gonna be good for my career. Now, if at the end of the day going to Newcastle for sort of like James Maddison would have been good for his career, go there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you should go to London and they just because it's London and you know your wife says so. You're the breadwinner. You're going to be the breadwinner. Do you know what I mean?
Great.
So your career at the end of the day has to be prolonged as much as it can. But if you go to like cover London just because it's London, how do you know at the end of the day your career and they're going to take off there? Much less if you went up north and everything that. Do you know what I mean? Your career might take off there still. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Absolutely.
London's only 3 hours on the train anyway.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it's not that far on the train from Newcastle. I've never understood. You know, that's what annoys me about TalkSport when they moan on about that. Play without talking about families. They're like, what player is going to want to play in Newcastle when they can play in Arsenal? And it's like, well, yeah, Arsenal's a great club, but you know, we've had some pretty bloody decent players play for Newcastle United, you know, and they've never once bothered about the weather or whatever. What have they always said about Newcastle? How good the fans are, how amazing the city is, and how they fall in love with it. So
Exactly.
that excuse never washes with me when they're when they're on about that, because do you know what? Like I'd put Newcastle, obviously I would say this because I'm from there, but I'd put Newcastle up against any city in the whole of the UK as being up there for one of the best. Friendliest people, best fans, great stadium. History in the stadium. Obviously not what other clubs have. I know that, but do you know what I mean? When we've got. Should we go to the song? We've got Eldon Square, and they've got the bridges.
Exactly. Totally agree. 150% there, Paul. Big up.
We're
going to come. Go on, Steve. Go on, Karen, Stephen.
I do love going to Liverpool though, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
my family are from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liverpool is nice, but what I'm trying to say, so like, also Newcastle is beautiful as well. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, and to Paul's point, and that doesn't wash on me, like this London thing and this and that. That doesn't wash me because you've got many places around, sort of like England, and that are beautiful. Manchester's beautiful. Liverpool's beautiful. Newcastle's beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Even when you go to Nottingham, do you know what I mean? Some places in Nottingham is beautiful. Bristol at the day is beautiful. Do you know what I mean? You know, he's got like it's got a lot of sort of like history there and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So that don't rush on me. You just want to go. They just want what they want is want them to go down to London and there so they feel that they can earn more money down in London. Do you know what I mean? Much less than up north. Do you know what I mean? They feel that these London clubs and they are just going to throw money at them. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? And plus, the shops and all that for the wives and that. So, listen, they've got many beautiful places in this country. It's not just about London. Because if you remember today, if we go back in history, London wasn't always the capital. It was York that was the capital of England. Do you know what I mean? So, and where's York? Up north.
Oh,
you said it. You said it, Rods. You said it, mate. Well said.
That's where I used to live.
Yeah, there you go.
Lived in York. Lived in York for six years.
Yeah, cool stuff. Let's go for the comments, guys. We're going to fly through this as well. Do keep them coming in. Question for the Toon fans: which position, ask you, Steve, are priority to buy for January? Who do you think? Which position do you need? Calvin Phillips has been linked with us. Number one,
go on.
And number two, they're not happy with the terms of it.
Well, Phillips is, he's he's midfielder, isn't he? Really, he's not a striker, is he? More of a midfielder. I'd say we could do with another midfielder, but we should also need another striker. And as I said the other day, made a massive mistake letting a striker go for the sake of 12 million. And what does he do? Score a hat-trick against us. Now, he could have been a bit part player. Why do you let someone go for the sake of 12 mil? It's just not thing. We maybe not been struggling up front as much as we have been if we'd have had that other striker. But I reckon 100% we need to bring another striker in. 100%, because as you said, with Wilson, he's been injury prone, picking up injuries. So's Isak. Both them are out. What have we got left? Gordon's. I'm not saying Gordon's not useless, but Gordon's more of a, as you say, left wing. Almiron on the right. But who else do you bring through the front? You might end up having to bring Joe Linton forward again. He doesn't seem to be doing well up front. As you said, in midfield, he's been doing well. So a striker is definitely what we're looking at. Is a player been rumoured last couple of days? Paulo Dybala, Argentinian from Roma. He's been rumoured for English teams looking at him. So he might be worth a look at. He's 12 appearances this season, scored 6 assists. So if not him, then there was, I would say, I don't know who else we've been linked with, really. So he seems like a good one to look at. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair comment. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Let's go to the private. Thank you very much indeed for that.
Don't worry about that.
No, that's fine. I was thinking what's going on. No problems at all. Big up to Amy, by the way. Pretty Wives loves to shop. Amy, we know you love to shop as well, mate. You know what? She's very glam. She's glamorous. She's glammed, and she loves her shopping as well. Big up to Steve Nixon, by the way. Big up to you, Steve. I hope you're glam, mate. Welcome to the chat, man.
Hi, mate.
And Liverpool fan, I've got one more question. For what happened if Mo goes to Madrid or Barca? Would you say, no, he ain't going to turn down those two clubs, isn't he? I mean, he probably end up going to Saudi in the future. I could be wrong. Gordon's hurting showed it last game. Yeah, I mean, he looks a bit knackered at the end of the game, Anthony. I love Anthony. He works so well. Yeah. And you know what? I mean, he just loves playing for the club as well. I want to talk about the next topic. I'll start with you, Rods. I heard from Alex Cook yesterday, right, saying about some people that don't know that we may have to sell our crown jewels, one of our crown jewels. Sven Botman, Bruno Guimaraes, or Alex Isak. It'd be one of them just to make up for the FFP, because obviously we can't spend a lot of money. So if we sell one of them, then we can spend quite a lot of money on 3 or 4 more players. Now, as a fan, Liverpool fan looking in, what do you make of that? Do you really have to sell, or do you have to wait for the Adidas money to come in the summer?
I wouldn't like to be in that position as you know, as an outside looking in. It's a very tough position to be in, because like all 3 players are what you just mentioned, didn't they? Sven Botman, Bruno Gomes, and Alexander Isak. Yeah, they're very good players. Yeah. They are very good players, didn't they? And it's I'll be ripping my what hair I got left. I mean, I'll be ripping it out just to sort of like trying to think of like who they'll sell, and I just can't think. And I think, with the FSP, you know what it is? It works for some people, and it doesn't work for some other people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
What you say about that, the better, right? But what I'm trying to say, I think if I had a choice at the end of the day, right, and I didn't wait for the Adidas money to come through, and I had to do it like now, and I had a choice, I would sell Sven Botman. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sven Botman and obviously try and sort of like go to like France and then pick up a sort of like I don't know, something like a defender for about 10 mil or 12 mil or something like that. Do you know what I mean? You know, a lower price. I wouldn't sell Bruno Gomes because I think he works extremely hard in that midfield. Extremely hard. And Alexander Isak, he's a quality striker. I mean, that goal he scored against Liverpool the other day was quality. That was quality. When he just like flipped his shoulder and everything and just like hit it across goal and then went back in the net. Do you know what I mean? With his, I think it was his left foot or right foot. But anyway, he just like dropped his foot. He dropped his phone and he picked his spot. Literally picked his spot and said, "Right, it's going across there." Do you know what I mean? So that kind of like player that kind of player, you don't want to lose that sort of player. You don't want to lose at the end of the day. It's all of what Bruno Gomes can offer you in midfield. Because most of the battles at the end of the day, battles in football, most of the battles are won in midfield. Do you know what I mean? You take hold of that midfield and you win that battle, you win the game. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Well
so
said.
the person I probably would sell at the end of the day would be Sven Botman. But personally, if you ask me, I would hold up for the Adidas money, so I don't have to sort out selling Adidas sponsorship, so I don't have to sell anybody. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would do. I mean, I would do that. But if you push me to say, look, you know what, you have to sell something now. Do you know what I mean? For the FFP, it will be Sven Botman, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. Your comment as well. Let's go to some comments for comment to Paul as well. Yeah, I've plenty saying that. Big up to J Kismet. You never walk alone. Big up to you, mate. Welcome to the chat, man. I hope you're good. Eleanor Davey, happy New Year to you, my guy. Happy New Year to you there. Liverpool fan. He looks like Don Robbie. He looks a bit like Robbie for AFT.
He's my best mate. He's one of my best mates. I used to play music with him many years ago. He's a good friend of mine.
Brilliant stuff. You have to look where the rumours originate from. Getting wages off the books for fringe players would help enormously in releasing funds without hurting the team. Again, Leslie, I can't really add to that. I think you're right, because you need to get rid of the dead word there. But the thing is, though, they earn so much money a week. They probably go, if you go to a different club, they're not going to get the same money. Simple as that. That's what I'm getting. Newcastle being a football town, I've always felt players fearing being judged by Newcastle fans if they're not pulling their weight. And yeah, that's a fair comment, Steve. That's a fair comment. If say hi to Davey, and everyone's bigging them up as well, which is great. Ashley really screwed us over some of those contracts. He did, 100%. And that's for another time. And free advertising too. Yep. And then it says, for me, just get the players you need in Jan, like some teams do, and paid FFP fine. I was going to say, so Paul, I got to ask you the same question as you. The three players I mentioned, I mean, I don't know if you listen to Talk Sport. I mean, who do you think the ones that are going to have to make way for the FFP? I mean, if you had a choice, who would you let go?
None of them. What is the point in building something if you're going to let one of your best players go? It doesn't. This is what frustrates the hell out of me about FFP. It does my head in.
Yeah, man.
This is what they want. I mean, look, you've seen the things today. Nottingham Forest are in trouble now. They're in hot water because they've done something wrong, according to the reports. Apparently, Everton are back in trouble again because of another thing they've breached or something. And as much as I dislike Everton as a club and their fans do my head in at times, I still don't want any club to go out of business or whatever. Like, I don't think that's not, it's never nice to see that. And this is the problem with FFP. It's all about like, right, so you earn this much, blah, blah. If you can prove you've done your revenue, you can spend this amount of money. Now, the problem is with us in particular, we've had so many years of Mike Ashley in charge.
Yeah. Now,
with that, as people have already very correctly said, we didn't have much income coming in because most of our sponsorships were Mike Ashley. So we're pretty much not earning much money from that at all. Most of the sponsorships we had were bringing in the minimal amount you could think possible. We didn't have lots of things like, when we were under Ashley, when's the last time an airline sponsored us? Do you know what I mean? All these new things that have come in that has been really good. When, we weren't getting sponsorships for this, that, and the other because we didn't have a person in charge of that. It was Lee Charney had like 50 jobs for one position.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? He was doing this and that and the other, and now we've got a bloke in charge of advertising. You've got a bloke in charge of, you know, the public relations, blah blah. You know, we've got a person in charge for each job now, because we have a system that we want to run it like a real football club. I mean, they couldn't believe how it was being run when they came in, that lot. They were really shocked, and this is why, where, you know, we can't just go. Well, we can just spend what we want, I guess, but for me, the problem is, we know what the Premier League are like. For me, if we breach FFP, we know that I think this is what will happen.
Yeah.
I get it. We could have a fine, but we know what they're like. We'll be the ones that get the Europe ban. We'll be the ones that get the transfer ban. Do you know, it just will be. We just know what this is like. We'll be the one that gets the 10-point deduction or whatever, you know, like Everton.
Yeah.
You know, they won't, you know, they will go after these sort of clubs because they just think, well, you've just broken it. Let's get at you. You know, if they weren't to give Everton a 10-point deduction, what the hell are they going to give us?
Exactly the same. Simple as that. It'd be interesting to see what Man City gets later in the year. See what they're going to get. I'll bet you to get a transfer ban, no points deduction as well. You know it's going to happen. It's as simple as that. We go to Steve in a bit. Here's the joke for the lads. There's a site. What's the word? Visic, Dwarf. That just murdered someone. Sidekick. Dwarf. Sorry, thank you. And just murdered someone. And the police have put out a statement that there's a small, medium, large. Brilliant. Thank you for that, Leslie. I appreciate that. We got to Ori Goon. Hi to you, man. Give me Subi, Mandy Cornet, and Panlinia. Come on, you guys. He's a big gooner, by the way. He's part of the community as well in the Insta group chat as well. So, anyone in the Insta group chat, big up to you as well. And guys, shout out to Alan. We get a fine, then great. But the Premier League love us to get over the proverbial barrel and throw the book at us. Softly, steady does it. Yeah, got one here as well on quickly on Twitter. John, I heard Amir and then how out of 4. Who's falling out? You heard anything? That's from Dan Bernard. Dan, I know that at all, mate. Not that at all whatsoever, mate. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, John. It's all these rumors out there that hearing Trippier falling out, blah. It's nonsense.
Yeah, we'll find out what's happening. You can't guess it out as well. Big up to Ricky, by the way. No chance to sell Botman, future captain or capitano, the Italian of our club potentially. How we the last one, Geordie. Hi to you, mate. Of all the players who brought Botman, would be the one I'd keep, as Ricky said, future captain. Yeah, totally agree. Steve agrees as well. Bring on the Mackems, the stadium with like a skeleton and stadium with tunes. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
The only one we can't help, John, is Bruno, because he has the release clause. So if someone triggers that,
yeah, that's a good point.
We're a bit kind of stuck with that. So if someone does trigger that 100 million clause, we've kind of, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like the ball's already moving on that if that happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, I hope it doesn't, obviously, because I love Bruno, but it's one of those things where if a big club comes in and thinks, hey, you know what, we need to blow 100 million on someone, Bruno Guimaraes has got a release clause.
Yeah.
It's one of those where as much as no one wants to lose him, we are a bit hampered by that being in the contract.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, at the end of the day, you put a release clause in there and they offer that, they break it, you can't do anything about it. That player has to go. And that's how it is. Cash 22, we need to sell one, but can't either way. We could be in trouble, Aston Steve. That's a fair point. Big up to Brian Morris here, to Rods and the panel. Big up to you, my guy. How about selling Bruno? No chance. We don't want to sell any of them, to be fair. Bruno's too popular, Aston Amy. I agree. Football turned into business, hence why they promoted the women's game. More customers. Increase your annual football top from 40 quid to 100, and the list goes on. Folk like Ashley and FSG, it's a win-win. That's a fair point, man. That's a fair point. If it's trips, Bruno agrees to go. And let's go on to lads. My mate Sanders Sam to me the other day. 20 years, no league title, playing football the Arsenal way. I tell you what, Arsenal not win the title next season until Arteta gets the boot. I do apologise. Bruno will not go. His best man and mate, Big Joe, will stop him. That's it. Neil Griggs. Speak up to Neil. Andy Cole's too popular, but he went.
So true. It's
can't be forced.
I think that's still one of the most gutting transfers I've ever had to be through. It was just awful. And it was awful seeing him do well at Man United as well. It was like, of all the clubs
Yeah.
to go to, it was Man United and he's winning title. I mean, fair play to him, but it's just, it was heartbreaking.
Fact. Absolute fact. And let's go some more console. Talk about the next topic as well. We've got Gary's laughing at Les. Young Lewis, man, he has been excellent for you boys, John. He has indeed, Brian. He has indeed. He is such a talent. Absolutely brilliant. Steve, I'm going to come on to you, man, because you've been quiet for me. I was going to do apologise. The occasion, I mean, the players, right, on Saturday, back to the Mackems game, the players will have to handle the occasion. If they don't handle the occasion in a game like that, they could be in big trouble, whoever you are. They got to understand what it means, the importance of the derby.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of players that have never played in a Sunderland derby. That team, there's only a few players there that have ever played against Sunderland. So these players will actually see how much it means for the fans that we need to beat Sunderland. You know, we cannot walk around out that stadium losing a game. You know, because that, as I said, it might put more pressure on Eddie Howe. I can't see them sacking him. I'm sorry. But as you said before, he's got a plan to go forward. You know, if they bring a new manager in, it could cause a lot of problems. You know, it could cause players to leave, you know, not play as good as they are anyway. So I think Sunderland game is the biggest game left for this season at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, even if we finish in 10th and we don't get into Europe again, but FA Cup now, we have got to go for it. Get the rest of the players back as quick as possible. I don't know who's going to be playing Friday yet. We don't know who's going to get back. We don't know what injuries we're going to have in the meantime because of the training. So at the moment, we can't even decide what the team could be. So come Saturday morning, that's going to be the first time we're going to know 100% who's going to be going, who's playing. You know, it is going to be hard between now and then. We're all going to be on tender hooks, knowing who's going to be able to get on the pitch, who isn't. Is Wilson going to be back? You know, is he not? Is Isak going to have to take all the responsibility up front? Gordon's, you know, he's doing okay, but he's still, I would say himself, is carrying an injury.
Yeah.
You know, he's up and down. So we don't know what it's going to be like Saturday morning. Hopefully, we'll have a pretty good side back out.
It sounds like Wilson's out for January. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's out against Sunderland on Saturday. Excuse me, he's one of them. Patrick Roberts and Sunderland's out as well by the looks of it. So he's a good player. He's a really good player. He really is. Let's go on to Statman Stubbs. Big up to you, my guy. I'm listening for a long, long time, and it's great to see you on my channel. Big up to Legend John. I hope you're well. Cracking game on Monday. Please beat the Macken. You know what? Nice to see you, Rods. Big up to Rods as well. And let's just chat to Steve about the points deduction for Everton, possible points deduction. Lewis, learned about the Premier League at Anfield. 17-year-old lad. Good experience with any youth player, Paul.
I tell you, he's a talent. He has a big talent, Miley. I tell you what, this lad came in last game of the season against Chelsea, and he looked good in that game. He nearly scored. He hit the crossbar with a great shot. He was very unlucky, the lad. And then obviously we've had to kind of call on him because we've had so many injuries. And but I tell you what, he stood up, and he's been one of our better players. In one of our worst performances of the season. Some of our worst performances of the season, he's been the one person that stood out at times. Yeah, no, here and there he's been caught and stuff, but you know, he's still 17. You got to give him some leeway. You know, he's caught up for a few goals and responsible for a few things, and hasn't always tracked his man. But you have to remember that he's still a teenager. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's still learning, bless him. So he's doing phenomenal. And most times, I don't think I've given him lower than a 6 or a 7 out of 10. And that says something about a lad that could, who would forgive him for having a stinker of a game because he's young? You know, you can have that because you're still a kid. But you know, for me, he's just come in and gelled amazing when we needed him. So it's brilliant to have that so young, and having players around like Bruno and Joelinton and, people like that around him as well, and Kieran Trippier and all that experience. He's just getting all of that experience from the lads as well. And like you said, playing teams like Liverpool, Anfield, and playing at PSG and getting all that, okay, so that's how they play. This is how I can improve my game. I'll tell you what excites me is in about 2 or 3 years, when he's the answer for when we need a space, we're saving ourselves like £90 million, I think, because normally when you get a player in that can play well, especially in midfield, you're paying a lot of money. And if he steps up like I think he could, we've just saved ourselves, like I said, 90, 100 million, which is brilliant.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Just to say, that's the thing that, and they would obviously with midfielders these days, you're not looking to spend less than 50 million if you want to get like a good midfielder.
Yeah.
And I always think it gives me gratitude in my heart is when you see one of your own come through and make it through. It's just so gratifying. Do you know what I mean? To see one of your own. Like we've had it with like Trent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's come to that system and he, we talk about obviously up to date now. Do you know? I'm not talking about before. But like, he got in, come through the system and he's shone. He's like won everything before he's 24 years old. Do you know what I mean? Which is remarkable. Now we've got like Curtis Jones in the day that's broken through. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Stefan Bajcetic in the day, it's broken through as well, but obviously he's injured at the moment. I always think there's Gerald Kranzer. Do you know what I mean? That's come in and took to drop to water. I always think, no matter what team it is, you know what I mean, whether it be my team, Newcastle, Man United, or whatever, do you know what team? I always think it's something special when one of your own breaks through that system and actually gets noticed. You know what I mean? And I think obviously the younger the better, because like if Miley plays his cards right, he's got 13 years of a career. 13 years upwards, and it could.
Oh yeah.
If you're a Milner, it's gonna go to 20 years, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That lad, he never ages, Milner. I tell you, God.
Yeah, I mean, so he's got really full career ahead of him at the day, and I hope it is with Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't go anywhere else. But like, it's remarkable that how these kids at the day can break through and shine, and it does save money in the pocket. You know what I mean? Because now you don't have to go out and buy a midfielder, and if it's a striker, you don't have to go out and buy a striker, and so on. Do you know what I mean? I think it's more special at the day when you get a player that breaks through that academy and breaks through to that the first team. Do you know what I mean? And does himself and doesn't let himself down. Does his bit.
Very true. Very true. Good words, lads. Hi to Kate. You doing? How are you doing? I'm great. And you and Jonathan are very cross over Hotman, that Liverpool game. That Liverpool Yotto died for the pen, and it was not a penalty VAR. Kate and Jonathan, you are not on your own. Hi to AG. I missed you out. I do apologise. Hope you're okay. Just update. I'm a better place. I was before, not great, but a lot better. Sharing back Newcastle. AG, thank you for letting us know, mate. And you know what?
AG, mate, you're doing all right, mate.
You're doing fantastic, and you are welcome in my channel anytime. Do not be a stranger. Come at your own time. There's no atmosphere at Sunderland. Even the aliens landed back, and we back during atmosphere. That's an Alan. Alan, we got a hand as the Alan, Foss has got a good point as well. If we're in a position where we have to sell a key player, then Ashworth needs to be seriously questioned. Why bring in players like Barnes, Gordon for high prices? They have talent, but still expensive. That they spend between those two 83 million deep on those two talent, And I'm going to come on to Steve. I mean, do you think Dan Ashworth is being linked to Man United as well? I mean, first of all, is he going to go to United? Secondly, is he going to be blamed, like Foxy said?
As far as I know, he's going. That's what I've heard. He's definitely going to United. There's nothing we can do about it. He's going. I half expected him, though, when this was announced, though, that they haven't put him on garden leave. He's still working at the club. I think he's the type of guy to be honest, do the job properly, and do whatever. But not everyone's the same. But I'm very surprised he hasn't been put on garden leave because, like my mate, if he was working as a sales director for his company, and he was going to another company, they automatically say, right, sorry, you're on garden leave now. We'll pay you till whatever, you're out. So it's very strange. The only thing I can think of is that they trust him to finish the job he's doing this season and go. And then whoever comes in then takes over and then does the job. Rumours are, from what I've heard of a friend, is some Eddie Howe's old director of football, some guy from Brighton. So that's what I've heard.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's what I've been. Yeah, same.
But whoever comes in, hopefully, they can carry on with the job that Ashworth's been doing.
Yeah,
and hopefully we can get these players that we want to come in. As I said, with the job we've done, I think we panicked towards the end of the transfer window, brought in whoever, just paid the money, and didn't think of the consequences. And I think at the end of the season, I think it's like we've all said, shred this wage bill, get rid of these other players, even if it means saying, right, release you, go and just play wherever. There's got to be a clause somewhere where they can release them for the contracts.
Yeah.
If not, try and get us whatever we can from another team, get them off the books, work out what we've got left, what we can spend, and go. I don't think we should sell any of our good players. I think literally we're just going to have to get through to the end of the season, see what happens in the summer, and see what money we got coming in. But selling good players, as you said, we're a building club. Why should we need to sell? FFPA is a bit of a problem. The only way, and I think a lot of fans will kick my teeth in for this, St. James Park, it's going to take a lot to develop it. Unless we can get permission to do a major change to that ground, we are not going to be able to get the capacity to bring more money in to the club for people sitting down, season tickets, ticket sales. Only thing I can think of is the two suggestions that have come forward is to build a stadium on Quayside up to 90,000 seater stadium, or go Lees's Field, build one there. Yeah. They could keep St. James Park, use it then for the women's team and then whatever else, an entertainment complex, keep it, and we can still use it in some way. But I think we're looking at building a new stadium, and then we know then the money we've got coming in.
Yeah.
And then we can now compete. At the moment with St. James Park, if we had developed that as much as what we need to, it could cause problems with money coming in anyway, because we'd have to shut part of the stadium off when we're playing. I don't think we got long enough to develop it between the last game and the first game of the season. It all depends on what we can do in that time. But I can't see it. I don't think we'd have enough time to develop what we need to then reopen the stadium for the start of a season.
Yeah. That's well said. That is well said, because 52,000 ain't enough for St. James's anymore. It's not. It needs to extend the stadium as well. Foxy said, even for potentially higher price, 28 million quid, when you had free buys last summer, like Gamado, Isco, Thuram is class, by the way. He really is. Even players like Boniface, 15 mil. Right? Don't get me started on the bargains in South America. Thank you very much, Foxy. Thank you very much indeed. And no joke there. That's an AG. Let's have a look at that one again. Believe me, it's one day at a time. Exactly, AG. 1 day at a time. Take your time, mate. We love you as always. Hall will go for sure back to Chelsea. Leslie's been a Foxy. Who would you start at full-back positions on Saturday for me? I mean, I'm not sure if Tripper's going to come back if he is. I'll play him. Left back, I'll definitely play a Livermental. And wonder if Emil Kraft's going to be fit as well. And if he's not there, Trippier, I'll play Emil Kraft as well. Foxy is correct. And yes, we were Leslie there. Thumbs up. We'll get relegated at some point. Listen, Kate is a bit of a wind-up merchant. Kate is a bit of a wind-up merchant.
It's never going to happen.
Is that the Liverpool junior team we're talking about?
Stay away from the Bristol, love. Stay away
Ain't
from
gonna be Liverpool FC, mate. They're gonna win the title probably. They ain't getting relegated.
Yeah. Wow. No, they'll never ever get relegated. Absolutely no way. Got more chance of trying getting relegated.
Under Roy Hodgson, maybe.
Yeah, that was
under Roy.
Oh, that was dark days, my friend. That was dark days.
Exactly.
Listen, you thought you felt so like bad when you had Mike Ashley in charge. Oh, mate. When you had bloody Roy Hodgson, Hilda Hodgson. Nah, mate,
nah, not for me. Big up to Lee, by the way. Hope you're finally. How about I say about hi to us as well? Hi to Steve. Hi to Paul. Hi to John. Hi to Rods, Lee. Don't forget us, by the way, my guy. But thanks for coming in anyway. You know what? Steve's popular. Bless him. There's no room for dives in the Prem, so Liverpool should know that by now. That makes us cross. Kate and Jonathan, I agree. Bless them.
Thank you, Amy.
I agree with you, but look,
Kate, I love you, but
Gordon is a diver. I'm sorry. He plays for us. Gordon dives. He just does. So you can't get away from the fact that it's a part of the game I'd want to get rid of. I agree with you.
Yeah,
but it's not just Liverpool that do it. We've done it as well. Gordon's dived a lot. We had people in the past that dived a hell of a lot. Joey Barton in the 4-4. That was absolutely a ridiculous buy of the ref. So everyone's guilty of it.
Is that the game with Czech Chiotti?
Yes, yeah.
That was a game.
Joey Barton absolutely bought a red card. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
he
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Joey Barton. Ridiculous. Isn't he endearing himself to the football fans of today?
Yeah. And you know what it is, guys, right? For the comments, yeah. I'm going to the ladies' matches. I spoke to someone today from the box office and said that. Glad you're angry, but just let you know, you will not be getting the loyalty points, just to let you know. Simple, if that's okay. That's fine. I'm still going. I'm going to the match.
Yeah.
Big up, John. I'm going to the ladies' match against United. I'm going to enjoy it.
Is that the one you go with Macy? Is that the one you go with?
Yeah,
Macy?
I mean, Macy's going as well by the looks of it, and I'm going to get into it. We're going to do a 5 or 10 minute clip as well. And it's going to be very, very interesting. So I hear all Newcastle fans listen to what she has to say, and she speaks facts.
No,
she speaks facts. If she was a Newcastle fan, right, and then people rip into it, I tell you one thing: she will have you after all these wasters of breakfast. I'm telling you. Let's move.
Knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's talking about. Portuguese football, women's football, and obviously Man United. She's a quality woman. She's a quality woman. I love her.
She is 10 out of 10 every time. First time she got on my channel, right? I mean, she spoke for 20 minutes non-stop. I didn't get a word in, and I just said, you know what? Take over, Macy. You go, girl. But she's lovely. Big up to Macy. She's the real one, and I mean the real one. The founder moved on 300 yards into Leicester Park, thereby retaining the cathedral on the hill and turning Gallagher into a city centre green belt. Yes, Leslie, you are right. And speaks sense. Leicester's the real one, by the way. They won't go anywhere as the council won't let Newcastle take business out of the tune. The bars and hotels, etc. That's to nil. He says that Joe Lenz is going to take out all the Sunderland players 5 at a time. And great points. What about if you received that big offer from Miles now? That's in Steve. I hope that doesn't happen. Time down to a professional contract when he's.
You want to keep this. The thing that
you got to keep these kind of players. You got to keep quality players.
You need to, you need to stop being like, the thing that annoyed us is that some people see Newcastle as a stepping stone club. You come to Newcastle to do okay, and then you get the big move. That's not what we don't want. We're not that anymore. We want to be the club that you come to as the big move. We don't want to see it as negative anymore. We're not under my cash anymore. We're not a joke anymore. We want to. We're taking it seriously, and look, we've been not our best this season, but everyone has a season off. We're just having a bit of a tough one. Like I said, when we get that squad back fully fit next season, we have some more players in the door. I think next season you'll see a different Newcastle. I think you really will.
Yeah, and if Eddie's still
no. Just no to that one. I respect you, Alan, but no.
Jota. Jots.
That's a really good deal. Should we get like Ashworth? Get on it, buddy.
Not a jot. Liverpool not selling for a jot. It's as simple as that.
Diego's a sort of put the only thing criticism that I do have about Diego Jota is that his injuries. Apart from that, he's a fantastic player. He's just a fantastic player. I love him to bits. So.
How many marks out of 10 would you give him though, Rods, for Jota? How many marks out of 10 would you give him?
Me, 9.
A 9.
I'll give him 9 because you see what it is. There was a season and day that that we kept him fit, and he scored sort of like 20 goals in all competitions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keep him fit, you're getting goals.
Yeah.
I think this is what the difference between Jota and Diaz. When Jota comes on the pitch, Jota's going to score. Jota's going to score. When Diaz is on the pitch, you don't know as much if he's going to score. You know what I mean? But it's a sure thing with Jota, really. So, love to pair to bits. I'd love to pair. Really good pair.
Yeah. Brilliant. 9 out of 10. Big up to Ian, by the way. Ian, I got to get back on my channel soon. I didn't know how busy you are this week. But you know what? If you available on Saturday, we can have a chat as well for the Sunderland game. So let me know on that one, my guy. That'd be brilliant. Big up to Cedric Lopez. Big up Cedric. How are you doing?
Yeah, but he's a good guy, Cedric Lopez. Good guy.
He is. Big Scouse as well. Big Scouser fan as well. Big up. And big up to Davey again and all the best as well. Stapes as well. Everyone loves calling it Stapes. And thank God there's no VR this weekend. That's very true.
Maybe not. You never know. You never know. We might be annoyed that we don't have VR. You never know.
Big thumbs down for Jota. Obviously, you don't like Jota. Quality finisher, to be fair, he is indeed. Big up to Gordon White, big Leeds United fan, long time no see, my guy. Yeah. You are the big move of incoming transfers. You know what? We are going to do a transfer show one day. It could be tomorrow or could be one day next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So we'll move and we let you know as well. So if you like the video, like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. Please do follow Anfield Uncle Rods on his podcast. He is a massive community in the Insta group chats as well. And do follow Paul Blank Canvas PC on Twitter, and do follow Stephen Rock the Tune on Facebook as well. Yeah, we get you, Kate. We'll get you. And this was going to say, I mean, it's according to the Daily Mail, right? This is no word of a lie, right? I don't know if it's BS or not. I'll go with you, Paul. Don't know what you're going to take. I don't know if you heard of this guy, but Michel Sanchez, he's the manager of Girona, level 1 pulls around with the La Liga, right? Now, according to the Daily Mail, or someone's Daily Fell, right, Newcastle are looking very seriously into replacing Eddie Howe with Michel Sanchez, who's done a wonderful job with the joint leaders Girona and obviously the work with Manchester City as well. And I tell you what, I mean, we don't need rumours like that. We've not really got the derby.
No way,
mate. The stories like that are, it's really annoying. It just it just doesn't help. Who does it help? Have that story out there. Like I said, as I dislike Man United and Ten Hag does my head in.
Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't help his job when they're constantly going, this manager's replacing him, this manager's replacing him. Do you know what I mean? It's just, what does that do for the camp? The everything like that. I mean, I know that Eddie will probably just taking his stride and stuff, but I just hate these sort of things when, it's happened so often over the last couple of years where, a manager's still being in post and they've been talking about him like he's going to get sacked for definite and someone's coming in. It just makes it a mockery, really, when you've got a manager in post and you're talking about someone taking over your job. I just hate it. I just hate everything about it. The journalists just don't care. They don't care, All it is for them is people buying it or clicking it or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if they're doing so well, no offense, why would he leave them if they're doing so well? Why would he leave?
I think I think basically a lot of it's to try and unsettle. I think people are doing this on purpose to try and unsettle a team. And I think a lot of people with Newcastle, especially the top six, certain people don't like it that we're pushing into that top six. You know, we're pushing those teams down. So it's like a top six, not a top six anymore. It's going to be a top eight, you know? So they don't like it that we're pushing in there. So people are on purposely putting rumours out there to try and unsettle our team. Yeah, unsettle the manager, try and put the pressure on. And that's what's been, it's all on purpose to unsettle.
No, I don't like it. I don't like when they do
I don't like it either.
Because, like, you know, put it this way, managers in general, right? I've got a hard enough job as it is. Do you know what I mean? Managing a team, not only managing a team, but with tactics and so forth. Do you know what I mean? It's like managing as well. Do you know what I mean? Because there is a management element of it. Do you know what I mean? You got to do all that. But they've got a hard enough job as it is doing that than to hear and say, well, look, my job's up for grabs. Do you know what I mean? Come on now. You need to stop all that now. And I mean that goes for a lot of sort of like managers in the Premier League. You know what I mean? You find out that happens. You know what I mean? They get a couple of a run of like 4, maybe 5 bad results. All of a sudden, this manager's getting linked with this club. That man's getting linked with your club. Nah, forget that. Allow all that now, man. Do you know what I mean? Just like let the man do his work. Let the man cook, do his work. Because last season and when Newcastle was getting results and quite rightly deserved them, and they weren't talking about that, were they? They weren't talking about this man's going to replace him and that man's going to replace him. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you go on a run, which anybody can go on a run. It can happen to anybody. It's happened to us. It happened to us last season, and but we couldn't even buy a win, as my man's pointed out. We couldn't even buy a win, but you got to stick with your man. Do you know what I mean? So all these outside noise and everything, you just got to put it to the side, man. Put it to the side.
Go on.
If I was Eddie Howe now, I'll be just like saying, yeah, whatever. I've got work to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what it is, right? I mean, let's be fair, right? Let's be real, right? It's disrespectful when you got the derby coming up as well. And another thing is, right, these owners took over for over 2 years now, right? We don't know what the motives are. We don't know if they're going to be ruthless. Do they honor the second owners? We don't know if they faithful to the managers as well. No one knows. Yeah, nobody knows. You might see tomorrow Eddie could be on his way, but we got to find out and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? Because they're so quiet, they don't tell you anything at all whatsoever.
It's one of the most pointless months to get sacked, though, because you sack someone in January in the middle of a transfer window. What chance does a new manager have to come in and like pick their own players? Do you know what I mean? It's a bizarre time to sack someone. Most people get sacked in December or February or March because you've had the window, or you've had the window, and the players you have brought in haven't really kicked off or whatever, and then you normally get sacked. No, I can't recall many managers getting sacked literally in January in the window. It's very rare. I mean, apart from Wayne Rooney, I guess, but that was a failed experiment from the start. I don't know what. Yeah, that was a terrible decision, and Birmingham should be embarrassed by that because they sacked a decent manager to get Rooney in as an experiment, and it failed miserably.
You know what? Exactly. I don't get that.
I think Rooney did well at Derby, didn't he? Did all right with Derby for a while, but then one thing. But at the end of the day, to me, he's not an accomplished manager. He needs to go a bit further down the table, learn the ropes a bit more, and then come back up. As far as I'm concerned, he hasn't got the experience, really, to manage a championship club. Nowhere near. And Birmingham is still a too big a club to bring him into. He's just a name at the end of the day.
The thing is about as well, right? A lot of these people, and they get their sort of like, get to be managers at the day on the reputation of them as a footballer. They did bits of a footballer, and naturally these people thinking that he's going to do wonders at this club. Steven Gerrard at the day was a kind of prime example because he was in academy for Liverpool, doing bits in the academy. Do you know what I mean, right? He literally got fast tracked to Rangers. He got fast tracked to Rangers. He went to Rangers, and I'm not being funny, man. No disrespect to Scottish football, but it's not exactly the hardest league in the world. You understand what I'm saying? You got two teams there, and that sort of like, that compete for the league, and they Celtic or Rangers. You know what I mean? Guaranteed that if Celtic don't win the league, Rangers gonna win the league. Rangers don't win the league, Celtic win the league. It goes on like that. So he's gone to there, and then immediately he's gone to Aston Villa and made a hash of it. Now, where is he now? In Saudi Arabia. Come on now, man. Seriously.
And he hasn't won a game in 2 months over there.
Huh?
And Steven Gerrard hasn't won a game in 2 months.
That's what I'm trying to say. So really,
wow.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just simply. I'll tell you the only man that I know at the moment, in the present moment and in day, that's had a really good career and doing well as a manager is Xabi Alonso. You know what I mean?
Tell you what, I love to have him at Newcastle United. I love to have him 150%. He is brilliant. Guys, can you take over for 5? Because I've got my screen's frozen again.
Yeah, Paul, take over, my friend. Go on, Paul.
Get in. Go on.
Let's get into the meat then, shall we? We can't not talk about it because it's the biggest game coming up. I know we're going to do a preview all about it, but we need to talk about it for a couple of minutes, I guess. The big one on Saturday, the blooming derby. Look, we've had a poor record in this. The Mackems have had 7 wins over us, which they love to talk about many, many times. We've been terrible every time we played them. We really have been poor so often in this game. We've never seemed up for it for a long time. Not since the 5-1. I haven't seen us play very well in this fixture. Even the draw with Mitrovic scoring, that kind of very late draw. Terrible. But it's our biggest game. It's the big game that everyone, you don't want to lose it. Yeah, it's awful. The banter you get, the shame you feel if you get beat. They're a championship squad. They're going to be up for it, which and our away form does panic me a lot. I just hope we go into this with confidence and obviously absolutely batter them and don't embarrass ourselves, because I'll tell you right now, I'm not saying Eddie Howe gets sacked or anything, but if we do lose that game, he will lose half of the fan base, maybe more, and that's always a worry. Anyone that's lost that game at Sunderland, the fan base is done. That's the issue I worry about. That it's that important to the fans, and it's so. No offense to Sunderland, if they lose it, they'll be annoyed, but they're not going to be gunning for their manager because who cares? Do you know what I mean? But when it's us and we're in a different league, it's a cannot lose. Stephen, I'll start with you, mate, because you're a fellow Geordie. What's your worries on or stipulations for Saturday?
I think it's just we can't fall flat on our face. We literally go into that game and we got to hit them straight away, straight down their end, put that ball in the net straight away, and that'll put the pressure on Sunderland then, because they will have to come forward, and then we can hit them on the break again. That's literally what we got to do. We can't show any fear, nothing at all. We just got to literally, that's it. Show them no respect. Batter them.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree with you.
All we got to do.
Yeah, we got to batter them left, right, and centre. Because the thing is, right, I'm not being funny. I said it, I think earlier, you got to understand what this derby means. Because if you don't know, if you get caught in the motion of this kind of derby, right, and you have not played it before, and you don't cope with it, you're going to be in big trouble. It doesn't matter who you are, you're in massive trouble. Paul?
Yeah, mate, honestly, I mean, look, I've been 10 times to the Stadium Light for the away games. And I think we've never done great over there. We've done well at times, but in the most recent future, we've hadn't had a squad. We haven't had a good manager. The confidence was terrible, or the usual thing that the Sunderland manager used to like is when they sack someone just before the derby, and then they get that manager bounce before they play us, and somehow they pull out a worldie, beat us, and then still get relegated. They love to do things like that, Sunderland. It's one of those where, like I said, it's just such a pivotal game for the season. I just feel if you get a good result there and an away win, I just hope that kind of sparks something for that away form, because that's the thing that worries me. On top of that, the away form was so bad; it's awful how bad we are away from home. And I know people are saying, but it's only down the road. You can't really treat it as a real away game. But it's still a different stadium, a different pitch, a different atmosphere.
Agreed.
You can't not take that into account. And the fact it's your biggest rivals, you can't take them softly, because they're going to be just as up for it as us. Again, I don't know with Sunderland team in and out because I don't follow them, but I don't know how many like proper Sunderland like players they have in the squad. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I guess I should, but I don't follow them that closely. But I don't know how many homebred, Mackems they have in that squad, if they have any. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact that we can field a couple of, pure Geordies out there, and they know what all mean to them. So you got Dan Burnett can start. Could you start Dummett? You could, but I don't know if you will. But you could start Dummett. You got Sean in there. You got Miley in there. You got people in there that know what this means. I know Richie's not a Geordie. I'm not saying he. But I tell you right now, Richie's someone who wears his heart on his sleeve, and he'll know how much that means. He really will. Like, he's a player that I know knows how much that rivalry means.
Great.
So it's one of those where he's kind of like an honorary Geordie, isn't he? Because he's so blooming passionate. I love it. So we've got players that know and can tell the lads that might not understand it as much. Bruno's and stuff, like they probably heard of it, but they might not know how deep it runs, and they can probably say to them like, "Look, lads, this is what it means to us. It's that important." So, look, for me, we should be going there, and we should be walking them 5 or 6, really. But
yeah,
it's just this problem. Cambridge came to St James's Park and beat us.
Yeah, they did.
Anything can happen in the FA Cup.
Facts. Absolute facts. Been to a fair few Cardiff Swansea derbies in the 90s, but they are nowhere as big as Newcastle versus Sunderland. Absolutely.
Yeah, Gareth. I've been to a few of those games, Ninian Park and the Vetch. But which side were you on, Swansea or Cardiff, mate?
I think it's Cardiff. Yeah, no fighting in the building. They did a good strong referee at the weekend. It's Craig Pawson, Garrett. It's Craig Pawson. Lester's mentioned it. I tell you what, I don't trust this ref at all whatsoever. That fish champion game, fishing tables for amateurs from start to finish. I tell you what, he better be up for it. He better be strong. I'm telling you. And not tables and tacklers. Tables? Oh, bless. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it then, guys. We're going to wrap up the show there. We've been through a few things there. We've been through the derby. We've been through Eddie. Talking, there's that report as well. He should be sacked for it, by the way. I'm not going to lie. And bit of Liverpool as well. And it's been a good show tonight. It's good. It's like you go in the pub, having a few drinks on this Real Talk podcast, which is fantastic. So, and go for the more comments as well. We got one here from Gary. That's a worry. And Gareth, Cardiff born and bred. So I don't think Stephen's going to be happy with that at all whatsoever. And you're so welcome, Leslie. Thank you indeed. Right, we're going to ask it for the show, like I said, and thanks so much for the chat as well. We start with Rods. Did you enjoy coming on, man?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I love it. The atmosphere and the energy is great. It is great. And it's nice to meet Steve. The first time I met Steve, do you know what I mean?
Thanks, Rod.
Nice to meet you, mate. Do you know what I mean? I know Paul from before.
Yeah, man.
I've actually been on the show with Paul, you and Paul before. But it was very good to meet Steve The Rock. Are you on Twitter, my friend? Are you on Twitter?
Yes, he is. Is blank canvas.
Actually, send it to me later. Yeah, send it to me later.
Oh, well, I'll do it on a DM. I'll do it on a DM. And then,
do it on a DM. And
He's asking about Steve, John, not me.
Yeah, I'll follow you and things still. But yeah, it's been it's been great. I mean, this is what I like, and when fans can get together
Yes.
and have light-hearted sort of like conversations about sort of like their team and your team. You know what I mean? Just talk football in general, and we agree to disagree and all that kind of good atmosphere. It's been great. If you ever want me again, I'm there, my friend. I am there, and keep on. Listen, as I said to you today earlier on that phone call,
Yeah.
keep on doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is great, John. What you're doing is really great. So keep on doing what you're doing. Never give up.
Thank you very much indeed.
Find me on Anfield Uncle Rod's. I do talk shows on on football in general, debate shows, watch-alongs, match reactions, and all sorts of things. All those great things about football. Okay, so it's Anfield Uncle Rod's on YouTube. Also, Anfield Uncle Rod's on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, on X as it's called now, isn't it? It's called X.
X.
And I'm also on Instagram as well, Anfield Uncle Rod's. You can find me there. Listen, everybody needs to like and subscribe to John Sinclair's channel. Do not leave at the end of the day, right, without liking and subscribing, because if you do, it will be met with resistance.
Yes.
But
Sure.
please like and subscribe to his channel. He's doing some brilliant work and everything like that. And listen, every time I come on the show, even when he comes on my show, I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? So 100% respect to you, my guy.
Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate those kind words as well. Newcastle fans, do follow Anfield Uncle Rod's channel as well. And I tried to put it in the link as well, but it wouldn't fit. But I'm going to try later on and play with it as well. Stephen, we're going to find you on Facebook and also on Rocktoon channel.
Yeah, basically, I say YouTube, X, Instagram, everything is Rock Platoon.
Rock Platoon, I like that. I like that.
I like that as well. And Lee J really wants to bash these Mackems up as well. I don't feel confident going into the game, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. But on the day, I could change my mind. And Paul, do you feel confident going into the game?
No, because we're a bit out of form. But the thing is, for me, in a derby, in the FA Cup, a form is normally nothing. It normally goes out the window when it's a derby. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the biggest important thing, really. I think it's a lot about the day and how you go there. I can't wait. I mean, I'll go into the game, so I'm really looking forward to it. We've been given some instructions to keep safe, where to meet and how to get there and stuff like that. So, that's cool. We're trying to obviously look out for the fans going. I mean, most of the time, like I say, there's banter and stuff. I mean, some of the fans, most of the ones that I've bumped into, they're fine. It's just a bit of friendly banter. It's only the crazy people who are trying to hurt people. Most of the Sunderland fans and Newcastle fans are absolutely fine. So I'm not expecting any violence. I hope. I mean, I have been there a few times when it has turned a bit nasty, but it doesn't happen often. It's a rarity. So everyone, I'm sure, will be safe and be fine. But I'm looking forward to it. I'd be interested to see who. It's on ITV, right? On TV. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to see who commentates on it, to see if they get a Sunderland opinion and not a Newcastle one, because Sky really need to sort that out. That's the one thing that Sky need to look at, because I tell you what, they need to have that balanced view, because Sky were very one-sided. I mean, Liverpool were great, but they've got a lot of one-sidedness in the commentary and stuff, and I just feel that just needs. It's not just us. It happens to a lot of clubs.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel that they just need a bit of balance. Like, if we're playing, most times it's Don Goodman commentating on us.
Oh, God.
We all know he's
not him.
And he can't stand us.
Why didn't they get Shearer to do the commentary?
Yeah, well, Sky don't hire him. It's weird. Sky don't hire Shearer.
No, he's BBC, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
I wish Amazon had better coverage, because I think Amazon's probably the best coverage that's out there, but they've got like no games next season, pretty much, which is a shame. I think their coverage is amazing. You can literally change it to the atmosphere if you want. You can change commentators if you want. You get decent, pundits. You get good, good graphics. Yeah, it's a couple of seconds behind, but I'll put up with that.
What's that one for? What's that one?
Oh, because I'm going to Sunderland.
I'm just saying, no, he's talking about the commentary, you can change it. And
Oh, yeah, sorry. So if you don't want to listen to the commentary on Amazon, you can select a button and just listen to the atmosphere of the ground.
oh, okay.
I love that. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's
love
the best. It's the best coverage of the Premier League that I've seen. But the
Yeah.
problem is that Sky have bought out most of the games next season, so Amazon are going to get like, I think they've got Boxing Day or something next year, and that's about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a shame
It's all
because I
money
think
now, isn't it? It's all money now.
it's the best.
It's all money now
It certainly is.
because it's basically he's got the biggest pocket that can buy
Yeah.
up sort of like, you know, most of the games, like most of the Champions League games, FA Cup games, and Premier League games. It's a bit sad the way it's gone. Like it's like literally money orientated. You know what I mean? It's a bit sad, but you know, this is the world we live in, I suppose.
Agree. Totally agree. Absolutely agree. So that's going to be it then. And if you do want to follow me on my channels, John Sinclair TV, 25 more for 7,000 people as well. And just a quick one as well, that I just a quick apology, unreservedly, that video I posted out through my vlog as well, where the fans walk and I said something on there. I do apologize as well. We all make mistakes. I mean, all the guys in the room makes mistakes as well, but even great YouTubers does make mistakes as well. Even Adrian Durham had a go at the West Ham fans today on Talk Sport, so he ripped into them. I'm apologising. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Forgive us as well. Wasn't bad, but I could have done without it. But guys, don't worry about that. I do apologise. If you like the video like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. As always,